Hey everyone, my name is Bailey, and I recently graduated from Purdue in 2019. I've had a really hard time being away from Purdue, which I never anticipated, considering when you're in college, it feels like a trap. You see people walking around in tours and you're thinking, get out, don't be like me. But then when you graduate, you start thinking, oh God, it's over. The best part of my life is over. But in a lot of those, Purdue tour, move-in, day in the life of a student videos that I've been watching, I've heard them give a lot of tips, and some of them I agreed with and some of them I didn't. I realized that I had a lot of tips that would probably be really helpful to incoming freshmen or even existing students. So what I've done is taken a whole bunch of notes of everything that I could think about for a freshman or even, any kind of student to keep in mind while at Purdue. And I'll be honest, this video really is more for me than for anybody else. It's helping me to relive all the amazing times that I had and just hold on to the warm feeling of being a student, before you're stuck in the system.
And life gets hard.
But I do think that a lot of this stuff, maybe people might not think about, and it might be helpful for them to keep in mind. So without further ado, here is my Purdue guide. So the first thing I want to start with is your freshman year, obviously. So when I was a student, or when I was a freshman, BGR was not mandatory. I've heard that it is now, which is good. I recommend that everyone goes. And by that, I mean not just show up for BGR week, go to a day or two with your group, and then decide,
oh, I'm gonna spend the rest of the week sitting in my room.
No, I mean go everywhere with your guide and with your group of people. It's gonna be beneficial, I promise. The first reason why is because this is an entire week for you to get accustomed to campus. You'll learn where all the buildings are, you'll learn where all the dorms are, you'll learn where all the dining courts are, and you'll get to eat at every dining court while you're there. That'll give you a better idea of where you think you'll spend most of your time, what has the best food in your opinion, plus it's like a whole structured week before school actually starts, which helps you get accustomed to the actual student lifestyle. And by that I mean finding time on your own to eat during the day, finding time to make it to your classes, when do you go home, when do you wake up. Your freshman year, you're probably gonna be getting up early, staying up late. This is the kind of stuff that you're absolutely in charge of now, and it can be a little weird your freshman year. That's another weird part of college. There's no such thing as like lunch or dinner anymore. You might eat breakfast if you're that kind of person. I wasn't. After that, your day just becomes time, just loose time. And I'll talk later about ways to use your time wisely because you have so much of it. And finally, BGR really just gives you a sense of pride for your school, which I never had as a high schooler. I don't know about any of you, but I never gave two quacks about my high school. But at the end of BGR, you feel like you are one with something more. It's fun. Second topic, class registration. Freshmen register during STAR, but the rest of us register halfway through the semester for the next semester, which comes up real fast. It sneaks up. Because it feels like once classes actually start picking up, you gotta pick your next ones. You're like, dang, I'm busy, this just freaking started. In order to be, a little preemptive, plan ahead, I recommend that you go into the website early, try and arrange your schedule before your time slot. Before. Don't wait until 30 minutes into your time slot to arrange your classes for the first time, which is what I did for like the first 3 years. So what you can do is you can log into the website and then you can look up, the 4, 5, or 6 classes, put it into the week at a glance, and then you'll see it actually all planned out, what your days will be like every day of the week. And likely each of those classes, if you do it early enough, will have other time slots. So for example, if you have a class at 7:30 and you're like, hell no, click on that and see what other available times there are, because there's likely multiple. Now, registration advice for non-freshmen is to talk to your advisor about prerequisites. Because when you become an upperclassman, you have to get a certain number of upper level credits. And that bitch snuck up on me. So I recommend that you talk to them about what upper level credits you might want to take your senior year or junior year even, and then plan out what prerequisite classes you need to take in order to take those. Because what happened to me, I'm a junior, senior year registration rolls around and they say, okay, you need what? 6, 12 upper level credits. And I realize I haven't taken prerequisites for anything. I'd just been focusing on taking my core classes and I didn't really feel like taking a 600 level research class. So I was looking for anything else that was upper level. But guess what? If it wasn't in my major, I had taken it. Just keep that in mind. Ask them to plan that with you before you need to plan it, because it will sneak up. Also, keep in mind that some classes are only offered certain seasons. You know, for example, if you don't get into a class in the fall and you say, oh yeah, whatever, I have a couple more years, you might need to think about that class is only offered in the fall. You only have 3 other opportunities to take that class, and you likely need to take it as soon as you can so that you can move on to higher level classes because it's a prerequisite. If you aren't able to take it one year, you need to take it as soon as you can the next year. Also, another thing I recommend you do once you have your schedule and you've moved into your housing is to take a day and just go walk to all of your classes before school starts. Walk to every class, and if the doors are unlocked, you can even go inside and, you know, peek around, see where the actual room is. And then that way, when actual school rolls around, you're not walking around campus for the first time ever trying to figure out where Witherall is. All right, the third area I wanted to talk about was how to be a good student. It's a little different than high school, I'll tell you that. You have so much freedom. You have too much freedom. Honestly, some people are gonna lose it. So much freedom can be overwhelming. The myth is that you're gonna start college and you're gonna be so busy.
You're not gonna have a minute of your day for yourself.
And that's not true. You have every single day all by yourself. It's all up to you to find out what to do and try and find the best way to fill your time. Because you're probably only gonna be in school 3 hours a day, maybe. You could sit in a dining hall and eat macaroni for 4 hours if you wanted to. You could go lay on the grass and take a 6-hour nap after your classes. No one's stopping you. You can play video games from 7 p.m. until 4 in the morning. And then, do I want to sleep for my class? That's up to you. I mean, your parents might be checking in every once in a while, but they probably understand that you gone. So you gotta kind of parent yourself and set some boundaries. And here's some of my advice on that. Keep a planner and keep it filled with all your due dates. Keeping a planner helps you see what's going on every day and also helps you block out time to complete assignments or study. One thing that I would do was if I saw that on Wednesday I had something due at midnight, I would block out time on Tuesday to finish it so that on Wednesday, you know, I could, add the final touches or just submit it early. And by blocking out time, you are deciding that you are going to work on it. Then decide what day you're doing that assignment and stick to it. It'll make your life so much easier. Secondly, take notes. Keep a separate notebook for every class, otherwise things just get a little cluttered. And write down everything you don't understand or that you don't know. Write down all definitions, write down important diagrams, just everything you're not clear on, write it down. Seeing what you don't know in your notes is one of the best ways to study later. Another part of smart note-taking is to color code. I would highlight definitions or I would underline headers. It just helps it to not look like a block of text. Third, keep your phone in your backpack during class, and that's gonna be hard. It will be so tempting to just scroll all through class. And guess what? The professor doesn't care if you do that. To be honest, teachers don't care what you do during class. You could be in the back shopping.
And they're like, what an idiot, he's gonna fail the test.
That's your problem. You can tweet, you can text, you can watch YouTube, you can shop. And guess what? You're only gonna be mad at yourself afterwards. Teachers don't care if you're listening. They also probably don't care if you're passing. It's really up to you. Whether you pass, whether you look at your phone all day, just help yourself out. put it in your bag. Fourth, get a few contacts in every class. First day class, say, hey, can I get your number? I don't know anyone in this class. And they're gonna say, yeah, I don't know anyone here either. Having those phone numbers are quick help on homework and assignments and anything that's confusing. Because a lot of the time, something will happen. For example, there's a due date on the syllabus and all of a sudden Blackboard says something different. And you're like, the teacher said I'm not supposed to email them directly unless it's really important. I don't have anybody to ask. Oh yeah, I can ask Josh from Calc. He's also in this class. Next topic, what to do with your time. I've split this into 3 different categories. Relax, move, and nourish. Those are your 3 college needs. To fill your relax need, sit on the grass, sit in common areas, sit in coffee shops, sit by the fountain, do some sitting. Sleep at least 7 hours. It will be easy to sleep 4 or 5 hours a night. And if you're not getting up at 7 a.m., you're probably not gonna be tired at night. Oh my God, I just started a new show, or I'm on my 3rd hour of insert video game, and it'll just catch up with you. You'll say, yeah, I can go to bed at 2 a.m. and I'll be fine. I can get up for my 8 o'clock. I can do it. And you can, but you shouldn't. Don't do that. Another thing that might be unpopular is don't take naps. Naps ruin the flow of your day. And they just make you kind of groggy, you know, honestly. It was really tempting, go to class, come home at 11 a.m., be like, I think this is it. I think I'm going back to bed. And you could for, you know, an hour or 2, and then you wake up. You don't know what day it is. You know, it ruins the flow of your week. You don't get anything done. You don't feel any better. Another thing that's great for relaxing is taking care of your hygiene. For you're a girl, that might mean doing nice makeup for the day, doing your hair. For a guy, that might mean shaving every day, making sure your nails are cut. It'll make you feel so much better than if you're ignoring those things. Next, there's move. You gotta keep moving. Don't be potato. You can go for long walks. Just listen to music and get fresh air. Dedicate 2 to 3 days a week to the gym. Some people like going to the gym during the day, you know, in the morning. And it feels like, oh my God, I'm so energized. I have my whole day ahead of me. Some people like to go at night. Figure out what you like. Because the co-rec is amazing. You gotta use the co-rec. It's the most amazing free gym you'll ever have in your whole life. Please take advantage of it. They have yoga classes, they have tennis courts, basketball courts, they've got weights, they've got cardio, anything you wanna do. Another important thing is to stretch in between lulls in your day. You know, you're studying, you lose concentration. Just go stretch. You'll start losing your posture, and some tables aren't very high, so you end up typing like this. Every 30 minutes, just stretch. It's good for you in the long run. Another thing I recommend is to ride your bike to class. It's a really easy source of exercise every day. If you ride your bike to class, that's, 15 minutes, that's exercise. Plus, it's way, way faster than walking. To be honest, when you start riding your bike to class, you will hate walking to class. Because, it's about 5 times faster than walking. You could take 12 minutes to walk from Windsor to Witherall, or it could take 3 minutes. It changes your perspective. And when you're a lazy person like me, you put off going to class till the last minute. So having a bike and being able to get there in 3, 4, 5 minutes, it's a lifesaver. And finally, nourish. I recommend that you eat at least twice a day. And that might sound weird. Believe it or not, it's very easy to eat once a day. Forget sometimes. You wake up, you have a bar for breakfast. A couple hours later, you say, oh, I didn't really have breakfast. It's 1 p.m. I'll go to Ford and just eat a lot of pizza. Then you're probably not gonna be hungry till, 7 o'clock, and you'll say,
oh God, dining courts are really busy right now and I don't want to stand in line. I'll just have some Cheetos.
Then at 8 o'clock, you have another snack. Then at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Another part of nourish is going outside and just getting some sunlight. And that sounds weird because you don't really think about that probably. Sunlight is so important for your mood, for your health, your skin. Gotta get that vitamin D. Also, read books. That's another way to nourish yourself. It's not really nutrition related, but it is health. And it's gonna get tiring just reading textbooks. So have a book that you actually enjoy reading and read that during your spare time. Now this is also gonna sound weird. Talk to a few real people every day. Was that just a me problem? Was that just a me problem? I don't know, maybe I have problems. It was really easy to go through a day without speaking to anyone if you didn't want to. And I actually loved that about college. I really miss that actually, but it's not healthy. So try to have an interaction with a couple people a day. And finally, I feel like the most important part of this is go to every class. Go to every class. It's such a weird part of being in charge of yourself in college is that if you don't feel like going, you literally don't have to go. But that doesn't mean there aren't consequences. That just becomes a you problem. I recommend that you go to every class for a few reasons. It makes you feel accomplished, makes you feel like you did something with your day. Also, if you go to every class, you will learn something and you'll likely get secret information. For example, I don't know how many times this happened where not a whole lot of people are in class that day just because they skipped, or it was a weekend with a football game and people didn't want to show up for Monday class. And the professor goes,
There's not a lot of people here today. Here's the answer to an extra credit problem on the next text. Thanks for coming to class.
It seriously happens. Or they'll say,
I'm gonna have a pop quiz this day, since a lot of people didn't show up.
And the people who did show up get the points. And that's another thing. A lot of classes take attendance randomly. They might take attendance 20 times per semester, which means that there's a whole lot of days that you could show up and they're not gonna take attendance. Now the third big topic I had is dining halls. Here's some basic advice. Go during off times, meaning not at 12 and not at 5 or 6. Just find any other time to eat. Just don't go during meal times. You'll regret it. And also by going at off times, they're gonna have enough food. Something that happens a lot if you go right at 12 is, for example, at Ford, they have these pot stickers a lot of the times, which are amazing. But if you go right at lunch or right at dinner, they're gonna get wiped out in like 10 minutes. So go at a weird time, there's gonna be plenty of food. Second, you can take a fruit with you from the dining court. And that's free. You don't have to go to the grocery store, you don't have to spend dining dollars on it. It's free snack. 3, only get the meal plan that you need. And that means try not to have a whole lot of extra swipes because you paid for it. I tried a couple different meal plans while I was there. I think my freshman year I had the unlimited one, which was insane. And then after that, I think I did the 13 track, which was pretty perfect because, you're probably gonna eat Monday through Friday, twice a day. That's 10 swipes right there. Then you have 3 extra swipes for Saturday, Sunday. It works out because you're gonna wanna eat out on the weekends anyway. Nobody wants to eat at a dining court on Sunday. It's just sad. And if you do have any extra swipes, you can use those at On The Go, which is amazing. And I'm pretty sure I'll talk about that later. Just kidding, I'm talking about it now. You can spend your extra meal swipes at On The Go, which is a little room off of the side of some dining halls. Windsor has one, Ford has one, I think Earhart has one. I didn't really go there very often. And you can go there and get an entree and a side for a swipe, or 4 sides for a swipe, which means you can stock up on oatmeal for the next week, or you can get a whole bunch of pretzels and chips, or you can get cheese sticks and yogurts and all that good stuff. So spend your extra swipes there, and that'll help you get like a stockpile of snacks, not wanting to spend real money. Another great thing are these pop-ups, which are it's like a food truck, and they serve different things every semester, I'm pretty sure. When I first went to Purdue, they had I think it was a taco truck. Then the next year it was a ramen truck. And last year it was a fried chicken and waffles truck. And it's a meal swipe and you get this big takeout thing full of chicken and waffles and 2 sides and you get a drink. All for a swipe. It's amazing. So I recommend you take advantage of that truck and try to find where it is. The 4th topic is laundry. I recommend that you get a hamper. Honestly, don't know who wouldn't. It's a good place to, hide your dirty stuff, so it's just not all over the room. You have a dedicated hole for dirty, and you put the dirty in the hole, and then it's not in the room. Store your laundry soap in the hamper, or you will forget it. I promise. Once you start laundry, stay nearby, please. For the sake of you, for the sake of everyone around you, stay nearby. That was one of my biggest pet peeves, was showing up to do laundry. And there's like 4 washers full of clothes that are done washing, and there's no one in sight. Yeah, you're just gonna leave it there all day? Thanks, great, I didn't want to use it anyway. Plus, if you do that, you might get your stuff stolen, or, moved. I used to see people tearing out someone else's stuff so that they can wash, and then that person's wet laundry is either sitting on the floor or it's sitting on top of a washer. Just don't be that guy. I lived in Windsor, and I think there was 2 laundry areas, and they both had really cool living rooms next to them. So, that was a great place to do homework while you're waiting or watch TV. I also recommend that you set a timer when you're doing your laundry, because you might not hear the washer go off, and that means that if you have to walk away, you know exactly when the laundry's done, and you can just come on back and pick it up. Now, the 5th and final section is things for your room. I recommend that you loft your bed. I had all of my roommates didn't loft their bed. Luckily, we still had enough floor space, but when you don't loft, your options are narrowed to what you can do with the room. Also, a plus of lofting your bed is more privacy. The room's down here, people are hanging out, studying, and you're up here sleeping. You could be naked, they won't even know. It's privacy. If you loft your bed, I recommend you get a body pillow. Actually, I recommend you get a body pillow regardless, because it'll cover up that weird bar thing on the side of your bed, and then it's like you have this little chamber and no one can see you. I also recommend that you either have a microwave or a kettle or something like that, so that if you have leftovers, you won't have to be searching for a microwave in the basement or in another building so that you can heat your pizza up. Or if you want to make tea in the morning or coffee or make ramen, it's nice to have a source of hot water. A microwave or a kettle's good. Another helpful thing is a basket for all your dishes. Stack of cups, stack of bowls, whatever, all your forks, it's all in one place. And then when it's all dirty, you can carry the whole basket to whatever designated sink they've set up for you. Usually you're not allowed to wash them in the bathroom, because that's gross. What if you clog the sink in the bathroom and people are trying to brush their teeth and there's spaghetti in the sink? That's just gross, just don't do that. So you can just carry the whole basket to the basement or whatever and wash everything up and then carry it all up. It just makes things easier. It's also good to have a basket for your shoes. Otherwise, they're just gonna be thrown all over the floor, or even if you're lining them up on the floor, that's a lot of space that just doesn't look good. So just get a box or something and just throw all your shoes in the box. Or get a shoe rack, some people do that too. I think the 2 most important things though are command hooks and extension cords. You might have a limited number of plugs in the room, which my sophomore and junior year, it was a pretty weird situation. We had this little hallway in our room where we kept one dresser and our fridge and microwave, but there was no outlet on that wall. There was an outlet on this wall. What are we gonna do? Put the cord to the fridge across the hallway? So we had to have a whole lot of extension cords to just kind of find electricity for all that stuff. And I also recommend command hooks because they're just so useful. You can hang your lights on them, you can hang your keys on them, you can hang your hats on them. It's just more space instead of on a surface or on a shelf. Also, some things to stock up on are non-perishable foods, meaning things like ramen or oatmeal or pretzels, dried fruit snacks, nuts, whatever. It's good to have a source of food in your room in case 11 o'clock does roll around and you didn't eat dinner. And I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Have an umbrella and some shoes for the rain, because you don't just want to wear tennis shoes in the rain. It rains hard in Indiana. You'll get soaked. So either have rain boots or, some kind of rubber shoe. It'll help you out. Some final kind of tips. Download the Purdue app. 100%. It has maps on it where you can like type in the names of buildings and it shows you on the map where it is, where different fountains are, different common areas, different dining halls, different dorms. You can look anything up there. It also has a map for labs so that you can find printers and find lab computers. And it shows you when they're open and closed too, which is really nice. And the app shows you the dining halls and all the different menus for the day. So you can check, you know, what's dinner gonna be tonight at 10 in the morning. Instead of having to go there and, you know, looking at the menu, you can just look at the app and just kind of plan where you wanna go before you actually go there. Another tip is to only take the bus when it's raining. Now, to be honest, I took the bus twice in all the time that I was at Purdue. That was sort of a thing that I saw in a lot of people's advice videos was,
use the silver loop and take the bus everywhere.
I really don't recommend that. I didn't use the bus. I had a great time, you know, walking everywhere. It gave me extra exercise. It gave me time outside. It really doesn't take that long. Plus the bus is gross. I hate buses. So I don't think you should ride the bus unless you really have to. Plus you're gonna have to wait around for a bus to show up. You're gonna have to keep track of bus times and, you know, where it goes past where you wanna go. And if you pass it, then crap, you're gonna have to walk anyway, you know? But anyway, that's the video. Even if you're not a freshman, I hope that you got something out of this video. And I hope that you love being at Purdue like I did. To be honest, I miss it so bad. And you're gonna love it there.